The rain didn't just fall that evening. It felt like it was trying to wash the city off of me. I watched the wipers of the Uber struggle against the downpour as we pulled up to the iron gates of Grandpa Silas's estate. I looked at the small duffel bag beside me, everything I'd managed to keep for myself. I stepped out, the gravel crunching under my feet, and for a moment, I just stood there. Inside that house was a warmth I hadn't felt in years, but also a rot I knew all too well. I straightened my coat, took a breath of the cold air, and walked inside. The laughter hit me first, loud, entitled, and fake. Then came his voice. Grandpa Silas. Elena? Why are you arriving in an Uber? Where's the SUV we bought you? The silence that followed was heavy. I saw my mother look away, and I saw Maya's smug, sideways glance. That was the moment I realized the game had changed. The weight of the past. To understand that silence, you have to understand the dynamic of our house. Growing up, Maya wasn't just my sister. She was a storm, and I was the lightning rod. If Maya was sad, I had to give her my toys. If Maya failed, I had to share my success to balance the scales. My mother called it being a good sister. I called it being erased. I remembered the time Maya borrowed my first car and returned it with a blown engine, laughing it off as bad luck while I walked to my night shifts for 6 months. I remembered when she found my graduation savings and spent them on a trip to find herself. Every time, my mother would say the same thing. Elena, you're the strong one. You don't need much. Maya is fragile. But strength isn't an excuse to be a doormat. The SUV Grandpa Silas gave me was my breaking point. It represented my freedom. When I came home to find the driveway empty and a note saying Maya needed it for her interviews, I didn't scream. I just felt something inside me finally go cold. At dinner, I felt like a ghost at my own table. Maya sat there, radiant in a necklace she'd taken from my room, telling Grandpa Silas about her new ventures. She spoke about responsibility and family legacy as if she knew what the words meant. She was playing the long game. She wanted the Blackwood farmhouse, the crown jewel of Grandpa's estate. She'd been whispering in his ear for months, painting me as the cold, distant city girl who didn't care about family roots. I watched her hand move to her wine glass, her fingers twitching, a tell she's had since we were kids. She was lying, and she was terrified I would speak up. I looked at Grandpa. Most people thought his age made him soft, but I saw the way he was dissecting the room. He wasn't looking at the food. He was looking at the way my mother avoided my eyes and how Maya never quite met his. After the dishes were cleared, I found him in the library, surrounded by the smell of old paper and wood smoke. He didn't ask me why I was late. He asked me if I was tired. I'm tired of being the person everyone leans on until I break, Grandpa, I told him. I didn't hold back. I told him about the credit card Maya opened in my name. I told him about the loans Mom took from my account to pay Maya's rent. I told him that I didn't care about the SUV anymore, but I cared about the truth. I told him that Maya didn't want the farmhouse because she loved the land. She wanted it because she wanted to sell the legacy for a quick paycheck. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the strong one for them. I was being strong for myself. He didn't say much, but the way he gripped the arms of his chair told me everything I needed to know. The next morning, the air in the study was thick enough to choke on. My mother and Maya stood there, Maya already looking like she was measuring the windows for new curtains. Grandpa Silas didn't waste time. He spoke about character, about how a family is only as strong as its most honest member. Maya actually had the audacity to nod along. She thought he was talking about her. When he pulled out the deed to the farmhouse, she reached for it. Her hand was halfway there when he pulled it back and looked directly at me. You taught one daughter to be a thief and the other to be a sacrifice, he said to my mother. But I will not see this legacy sold by a girl who can't even tell the truth about a car. He handed the papers to me. The gasp that left my mother's throat was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. Maya didn't cry. She just turned a shade of pale I'd never seen before. The fallout was ugly. Maya's screams followed me out of the study, and my mother's pleas for fairness felt like a bad joke. But as I walked toward the front door, I saw a tow truck pulling into the driveway. Grandpa Silas had stayed true to his word. The SUV was being reclaimed. I didn't feel a surge of triumph. I didn't feel the need to gloat. All I felt was a strange, quiet peace. For 20 years, I had been the silent witness to my own life being picked apart. But that morning, I realized that justice doesn't always come with a shout. Sometimes, It's just the sound of a door finally closing on a lie. I called an Uber to take me to the station. As the gates of Blackwood faded in the rearview mirror, I looked at the deed in my hand. I wasn't just the responsible sister anymore. I was the one who kept the heart of the family. And for the first time, I was driving my own life.